The impeachment movement, the peace movement, for years now, as this administration has been in office, have failed. Their demonstrations have failed. Their petitions have failed. Everything has failed. And as Thomas Paine said, failed petitions merely serve to encourage tyrants. Because every time we lose, they get more emboldened. Every time they lose, they look at us as being, that they can put us down, that they can surpass any of our actions. We have to win. We've got to have a plan that will win. So we don't call the strike until we know we have enough people. I would not do that to any worker in America, to make them go out on a strike that does not have a guarantee of succeeding. Never. Any rep that does that should be fired. So we have control. We have victory in our hands before we ever take our first step. All I'm asking you to do is join me. Join me and help me. And help the people that are already helping us back in California. Up in New England, I was up there, 6 states, representatives of impeachment groups from 6 states were up there, and they were fired up. I got an email from them today. One guy already set up a MySpace list. Another person's calling to get radio interviews. Someone else is going to be talking to the unions that they're dealing with. I was just with them a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to Montana tomorrow morning, and I'm going to go to Missoula, and I'm going to go to Billings. They're saying, bring it. We've already printed up our pledges. Bring the message to us. It's all I've gone to Seattle. Portland has asked me to come there. Knoxville, Tennessee, back over here to Ventura, San Diego, Phoenix. That's all I can think of right now. I think that's all I got on the table right now. I go back to Atlanta. But I just want you to know, if you join this is happening. It's happening. People respond. You're not going to be alone. So I'd like you all to sign pledges, but I'd like you to do more than that. John is here in North Carolina. That's how I got here. I met him in Washington, D.C. Okay? He saw the plan, thought it was respectable, thought that he could believe in it, asked me to come here. This is how it's working. I'd ask you to give this man real help, to make North Carolina the first state that has all of its congressional districts with an organizing team that's bringing in pledges to participate in a 3-day, don't call it a strike, because there are implications. There are implications for the NLRB. Sorry, sir, I'll address you in just a moment. That we can get protections for people who are concerned about their jobs for the National Labor Relations Board. If we call it a 3-day act of national solidarity and not a strike, they've got a case to tie up their employer with the NLRB because they're participating in a concerted activity. If we call it a strike, then it can be interpreted that they're striking against their company. And then, if they don't have the right to strike, they can fire them. So, that's the plan. There's not much more for me to say. I have to say that when I also saw that Carpenter's Hall and I saw that circle of men, what they did, I said, where is my circle? Where are my guys and my gals that are going to stand up to this administration? They're going to stand up and make this happen. And I have to say that I believe that Dr. Colonel Bishop Bowman is one of those guys. And I think we're going to find more of them out there. We're going to raise our own. Our new Continental Congress is going to happen. And it's going to lead this action and force this Congress to impeach this president, vice president, and start an invigorated electorate that's going to put new people in office. We don't need to give our representatives money if we can give them votes. And that comes from solidarity. Yes, ma'am.
I think when you talk about this, I think it would be good to call it a national emergency. I mean, it really is. And then
it truly is.
That helps people understand that they can join the 3 days of solidarity. It's a national emergency.
Well, I see what you're saying, as far as some kind of legal cover.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not an attorney, but I have won NLRB cases against employers that are ripping off their employees. And if that's the best way to word it, and we find that between now and then, we would choose the best word.
Yeah.
Sir.
I've already signed the Grimm petition, so it's my position, but you may be aware of David Price's letter why he's not supporting impeachment. He says it is not good for the country, and his main serious point is that the Congress has more to do for the next year. They have their agenda.
Yeah, they do. They just gave them the wiretapping rights. That was they really
He said we have more to do than spend the next year trying to impeach Bush.
Right.
That's his reason. That's apparently what.
Okay, let me tell you, I went to six members in those days, and I went to people who had signed on to Congress's bill, because I figured they were the most likely to represent our petition when I brought it to them. Okay, and let me tell you what they told me. Why? Everyone said no, for one thing. Every one of them was derelict of their constitutional duty to represent the petition that I was bringing to them. Why? Number one, Chaka Fatah's representative, the staff assistant, said, we don't have the evidence. I didn't know what to say. I mean, he had me. And I said, well, I'll see you later. I didn't even get the gag. Well, that's too far for me. And then another one, Peter Walsh in Vermont, said, yes, the congressman, did support impeachment, but right now we just don't think it's a good idea, a good thing to do. We're too busy. Exactly. Diane Watson's office, chief of staff, said that it would take too long. And I even took his number at 6 months. It's not going to take 6 months, not with this case, but I took his 6 months. I said, well, let's figure it out. 6 months from now, it left like 13 or 14 months. I said, that's plenty of time for this administration to do things we don't want them to do. And I'd rather have them go 13, 14 months early, plus let the successor know that it's a new day. The people are in the process. It's over. Don't think about abusing power anymore, because that strike can be called anytime. See, once we do this, once we activate people, it's not like we go home and forget about it. Once we're unified and we're I don't want to say agitated, but once we're activated, that threat is always there.